Concord or Huntersville? Here are 7 things you need to know before you pick one, because the price gap between these two towns is bigger than most people expect. If this is your first time on the channel, hello, I am Daniel Morvell, realtor/broker with eXp Realty, based in North Carolina, Charlotte region, serving both North Carolina and South Carolina. And I work in both of these markets regularly. So this isn't a comparison I'm making from outside looking in. Both of these towns get recommended consistently to anyone considering the Charlotte area. There's honestly different towns solving different problems for different buyers. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one actually fits you. If you're seriously comparing these two towns, don't wait until the end of the video to reach out. The link is right below here in the description. Grab a spot on my calendar and I'll help you figure out which one actually fits your situation. But without further ado, let's jump in. Let's start with the number most of you actually come here for. Redfin has Concord's median home price sitting right around $375,000 as of this year. That same data has Huntersville running closer to about $568,000. That's nearly a $200,000 gap between two towns that sit less than 30 minutes apart. Here's what that plays out to day by day. On a typical mortgage, that price difference alone can mean a payment that's $1,000 or more apart every single month, before you even factor in taxes and insurance. Run that out for 30 years on a loan, and you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in total interest paid, just for the privilege of a higher price tag. That's not a small gap. That's a difference between a starter home and a home you might otherwise have to wait years to afford, or the difference between buying now versus renting for another 2 or 3 years while you save up for the difference. So number 2, and this one surprises a lot of people. Census data puts Concord's average commute at right around 27 minutes, and Huntersville average commute runs about 26 to 28 minutes too. Depending on where you're coming from, off-peak, both towns get you into Uptown in a reasonable drive. At rush hour, they both stretch out. Huntersville I-77 corridor can push you towards 35 to 45 minutes at peak times. And Concord's I-85 corridor sees its own slowdowns too, depending on accidents. Here's the honest takeaway though. Given how close these commute numbers actually are, the price gap we just covered isn't really about who's closer to Charlotte. It's about what each town offers beyond the drive, which is exactly what the next few points exactly get into. Now at number 3, and this is the Huntersville single biggest advantage, and it's Lake Norman. Huntersville is the southernmost town with meaningful frontage on North Carolina's largest man-made lake, with public access points to things like Blythe Landing and Ramsey Creek Park, plus private community docks in neighborhoods like Northstone. True water frontage homes here start around $800,000 for a modest home with dock rights, and climb well past the $2.5 million mark for estates properties, so lake access itself comes at its own separate premium on top of the town's already higher baseline price. Concord doesn't have this. There's no direct lake access built into daily life here, the way there is in Huntersville. So you can drive to the lake from Concord, but it's not the same as having boating, kayaking, and lake adjacent trails woven into your actual neighborhood. But put plainly, if lake living is a non-negotiable for you, the point may already be settled and the whole decision is made. No amount of price advantage changes what Concord simply doesn't have. So number 4, and it's only fair to give Concord its own moment here. Concord Mills draws visitors from across the entire region for shopping and entertainment. One of the largest outlet and entertainment centers in the entire state. Places like Charlotte Motor Speedway doesn't just host race weekends either. It anchors a genuine employment and entertainment corridor that Huntersville has no equivalent to. NASCAR events alone bring hundreds of thousands of visitors through this town every single year. And Atrium Health, Cabarrus, a 457-bed hospital system, is headquartered in Concord too, giving this town a real local employment base that doesn't depend entirely on a commute into Charlotte alone. So that matters more than people realize. because it means Concord's economy isn't purely a bedroom community feeding into Uptown for work. It has its own gravity. Here's a takeaway. Huntersville draw is largely lifestyle and recreation. Concord's draw is more entertainment and local employment. Neither is better across the board, they're just answering different questions. Now, a quick pause halfway through this list. If either of these towns is standing out to you so far, you don't need to wait until the end of this video. The link is right below. So grab time on my calendar and let's start talking through your specific situation. All right, so without more talking, let's keep going to give you number 5. So at number 5, both towns take real pride in their schools, and both have legitimate reasons too. Huntersville falls under Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, with William Amos High School rated 8 out of 10 by greaterschools.org, and Lake Norman Charter ranked among the top schools in the entire state. Concord falls under Cabarrus County Schools, with Cox Mill High School rated 9 out of 10 by greaterschools.org, one of the strongest ratings in this entire region, alongside a district that also offers STEM. Both districts have the standout schools worth building a decision around, but both districts also have wide variation between their highest and lowest rated schools, the same way every district in this metro does, to be honest. The real answer isn't district versus district, it's the exact school your specific address feeds into, which is why I check that address by address for every single one of my clients in either town. All right, so number 6, and this one's worth slowing down on. Property tax data puts Huntersville effective rate around 7.7%, while Concord runs closer to 0.82%. On paper, Huntersville rate is lower, but remember, there's a price gap. So let's just say in Concord, a $375,000 house works out to about $3,075 a year in property taxes. In Huntersville, median house price is $568,000. You're looking at a property tax rate or a property tax amount of $3,900 and change a year. So here's the takeaway. The lower tax rate doesn't win if you're sitting on top of a much higher home price. Run the actual dollar amount, not just the percentage, because the percentage alone can be misleading. All right, now number 7, and this is the most time-sensitive point on this whole list. Redfin most recent data shows Concord homes sitting on the market for about 91 days on average. That's up from 56 days a year ago, with prices down slightly year over year. That's a market shifting towards a buyer's market. Huntersville's numbers tell a different story though. Homes there are selling in about 60 days on average, and prices are still up 5.1% year over year. That's a market still favoring sellers. So what does that mean for you right now, this year? If you're a buyer, Concord is currently giving you more negotiating room than Huntersville is, to be honest. And that's not a permanent condition. Markets shift, and by the time you're watching this video, these exact numbers may have moved a little bit. But the underlying pattern is accurate as of today, and it's worth factoring into your timeline either way. If you're the kind of buyer who wants to move quickly and is comfortable competing for a home, Huntersville's pace won't scare you off. But if you'd rather have room to negotiate and time to actually think through your decision, Concord's current market gives you that breathing room. Now let's break both towns down directly, starting with Concord. The pros: real affordability, a median price of nearly $200,000 below Huntersville, and a genuine local job base anchored by Atrium Health, Cabarrus, and the Speedway Corridor. Cox Mill High School, one of the strongest ratings in the entire region, and right now, real negotiating leverage as a buyer, with homes sitting longer and prices softening slightly. Now the cons: no lake access, just plain and simple. The commute into Uptown, while reasonable off-peak, runs through its own congestion at rush hour along I-85 corridor. Concord's overall profile is also less polished than Huntersville. It doesn't have quite the same built-in lifestyle amenities clustered around one walkable village center. Now, my personal take: I show Concord to clients who want real value and don't need the lake to make the decision. It's one of the strongest affordability plays in the entire Charlotte Metro right now. Now, if you're the kind of buyer who cares more about what your money actually buys than about a name everyone recognizes, Concord really deserves a serious look. Now, Huntersville. The pros. Of course, Lake Norman, plain and simple. That's a lifestyle no price adjustment replaces. Birkdale Village, giving you a genuine walkable town center, shops, restaurants, and a movie theater all in one place. Now, Hugh High School and Lake Norman Charter both standout options within Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, and a lower property tax rate, even if the dollar amount runs higher than in Concord's. Now the cons. That nearly $200,000 price premium over Concord, which shows up in your down payment before it even shows up in your monthly payment, a market still moving fast, meaning less negotiating room for buyers today, and I-87 rush hour traffic that can stretch a 25-minute drive into 45 minutes without much warning. Now, especially without ongoing road construction along that corridor expected to continue for the next couple of years. Now, my personal take, I show Huntersville to clients who've decided that the lake and the walkable village lifestyle are worth paying a real premium for. It's not the value play that Concord is, but for the right buyer, it's not trying to be. It's selling something Concord simply can't offer. And for a lot of my clients, that lake lifestyle is exactly what justifies the extra cost. All right, so here is the real comparison. Concord wins on price and local employment and buyer leverage right now, and Huntersville wins on lake access, walkability, and a slightly lower tax rate, but neither one is the objectively better town. They're answering two different questions, and the honest answer depends entirely on what you're optimized for. Here's what to do next. The link is right below this video. Grab a spot on my calendar, and let's figure out which one of these towns actually fits your situation, not just the one with the better name recognition. And if you don't have a lender yet, which is very important to do before you start actually seeing houses, I can connect you with one I trust free of charge. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.